So Gavin went to a bookstore with $20. He spent 9 3/4 of his money on a book and 3 4/5 on a poster. What fraction of his money did he have left? Write the answer in dollars and cents. So here we go. So what do you know? You know how much money he went to the store with. You know he spent 2 separate fractions of his money, and we want to know how much money he has left. But you have to take that amount, that fraction, and convert it back into dollars and cents. So how are you going to do that? So what does that problem even look like? So here is $20, right? And he spent 9 3/4 on a book, right? Then he spent 3 4/5 on a poster. So what fraction of the money did he have left? That's what we're trying to solve for. So based on the last few problems, how are you going to solve this? Do you want to subtract each one and take the answer and subtract it from the other? Or do you want to put those together and subtract it from the whole? Well, I say let's add those together and subtract it from the whole. So what I want you to do is I want you to attempt it. Then come back and check your work. Okay, here we go. So the way I did it is I kind of followed the same protocol that we've been doing, the same strategy, added these up, created the common denominator, added, and got my fraction. So altogether, he spent 17 7/20 of his money. Then I came over here and I said, well, 20 subtracts 13 7/20. And of course, you can't just pull 7/20 down. So you have to convert 19 and then 20 over 20 and subtract. So I got 6 13/20. So remember, you had to put this back into dollars and cents. So I had to convert my 13/20 into $1. So I multiplied 20 times 5 to get 100. So I have now hundredths, right? What do we know about decimals and hundredths? And what I do to the bottom, I do to the top, and 13 times 5 is 65. So it's 65 hundredths, and we know what 65 hundredths look like. That converts down to $6.65. Now, if I wasn't content with my answer and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and check, I could actually go back and add up my fractions and see what I came up with. And I ended back at 20. So I know I did a good job. So remember our whole estimate, solve, check, going back and actually checking to see if those 3 fractions add up to $20, right? Okay. So our last problem for this test prep lesson, remember, our end of the module test is all word problems. And if you can do these without having to struggle, you are doing extremely well. So Matt wants to save 2.5 minutes on his 5K race time. After a month of hard training, he managed to lower his overall time by 21 1/5 minutes to 19 1/4 minutes. By how many more minutes does Matt need to lower his race time? So let's think about this, because this question, I feel like there's a lot of different parts to it here. So what do we know? We know he wants to save 2.5 minutes. He wants to save 2.5 minutes on his 5K race time. After a month of training hard, he managed to lower his overall training time from 21 1/5 minutes to 19 1/4 minutes. So by how many more minutes does Matt need to lower his race time? So let's figure that out together. So here we go. We have 21 and 1/5. 21 and 1/5 minutes, right? So we don't know this part right here. Now, here is his reduction time. 19 and 1/4 minutes, right? So this is the part we don't know right here. Now, how are we going to attempt this problem? What do you think we should do? Because this is going to be 2 steps. So what are we going to have to do? Where do you want to start on this? Well, how about if we take 21 and 1/5 minutes and subtract it from 19 and 1/4 minutes? All right, so let's take 21 and subtract 19 and 1/4 to try to find that missing amount. And then we have to figure out how much more, right? So, okay, so let's say 21, subtract 19, 1/5, subtract 1/4. All right, let's see. Go ahead and try this from here and see what you get. Let's see where you end up and then come back and check your work. Okay, so let's check what you've done so far. So did you pull out the holes, subtract, notice, I can't subtract 5 from 4, so I have to convert and end up with 24 minus 5 over 20, and then I end up with 1 and 19/20. So after 1 month, he has saved 1 and 19/20 of seconds, 1 minute and 19/20 seconds off of his time. But his goal is to save 2.5 minutes on his total race time. So how many more minutes does Matt need to lower his race time? So we now need to take what he has saved this much amount of time off of his score after 1 month, but he wants to take a total of 2.5 minutes off. So we need to subtract 1 and 19th from the total that he wants to save. So let's see what you do here and see what you come up with. So were you able to pull out the holes, subtract the fractions, come up with your common denominator, realize that 19, you can't take 19 from 10, come over here, regroup, 20 over 20 plus 10 is 30, subtract 19 gives you 11/20. So Matt still needs to save 11/20 minutes off his race time. So the reason why we're going through these together as concept development and as your problem set is to make sure you know how to attack the problem and that you're completely answering the question. Remember, almost all of these problems are going to be a 2-step problem, and it's going to involve, addition and subtraction. You're going to have to, especially when it comes to subtraction, they're almost always going to make you regroup. So getting in that habit, seeing where to do it, knowing how to attack the problem. You've seen us, we've worked through these problems. You now know how to attack these problems. So lesson 16 is our last lesson in module 3, and we're going to be going through the same process. So if I asked you to find out how many seconds really is that, you could take 11/20, multiply it by 3, and you get 33 seconds, right? He has to still save 33 seconds. Anyway, those are the little things that may come about in these problems. So knowing how to convert either to dollars or seconds or minutes. All right, that'll do it for this lesson. Hopefully you'll be able to complete the homework successfully after we just went through those 5 problems together. You should be able to attack these problems. and solve them very well. All right, good luck.